everybody to the Single and Stilettos Show. I'm Suzanne Oshima, and I'm a matchmaker and dating coach at Dream Bachelor and Bachelorette, and I'm also the founder of Single and Stilettos. Today we have on our show Des O'Connor, and he's a relationship coach and success mentor, and he's based in lovely London. So I'm so excited to have him here today, because today we're talking about successful career but struggling in love, because I hear this all the time that women are so successful in their career and they can't understand why they don't have the same success in their love life. But before we jump into it, Des, I would love for you to tell our audience a little bit about you.
Oh, hi there, everybody. I'm Des O'Connor. I'm a relationship success mentor over here in London, and I mainly focus on working with single professional women and show them simple proven tips on how they can find and attract the right man into their life very quickly. And I have loads of marriages, engagements, and loads of relationships to prove that. So that's simply what I do.
And that's pretty direct too. You get results for your clients, right?
That's right. The ones that want to take action, yes.
Great. And well, that is true. So I want to ask you, why do you think successful women really have a hard time finding love? Because I hear this a lot. I live in New York and I hear this all the time.
One of the key things with that is what I've learned with coaching is what you focus on is what you become. So for that, I mean, usually these types of women that are career driven, their 100% focus is on their career,
right?
Nothing else. So they come home, they take their work home with them, they're focused at work, and then what then happens then, they don't focus on anything else. They're not allowing any opportunities for men to come into their life or to meet them because they're so career driven. Look at it like when you're working out in the gym. If you want to focus on losing pounds and losing lots of weight over the next 2-3 months, if you focus on that, you know that's going to happen. Now, what happens in that situation is if you're just focusing solely on your career, which is what a lot of women are doing, they don't really focus on relationships. They don't read books about relationships. This type of woman usually does this. Don't focus on understanding men. Don't focus on understanding men's needs. So what then happens then when it comes to a relationship, they don't last that long. They don't really get to learn about relationships and men, and also most importantly themselves, because if that's what their main focus is, that's what they're going to be attracting in their life on a continuous basis. So career hard, strong, driven women, if they're not looking at other areas of their life to work on in relation to relationships, it's all right, they're going to be making lots of money and having the career, but they need to strike that balance. That's why some women that are not as attractive as them, don't earn as much money as them, have a husband, because they've striked the balance, because their focus is not only on their career. They want to be settled, they want to be married, and they want to have the family.
Right. And you bring up a really good point, and I'm glad you brought up the money issue, because usually with a successful career comes that she makes a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing is that I see a lot of career women make this mistake, and they tend to think that a man really cares about, number one, what she does for a living, and number two, how much money she makes. And see, exactly, Des's reaction is the exact same reaction I get from all my male clients. And it's not to say that a man doesn't want you to have a job or make money, right, Des? It's that they just want you to be passionate and be happy with what you're doing, and whatever level of income you're making, that you're just doing what you want to do, and that it's not about the amount of money that you make, right?
That's right. That's absolutely right, because there comes a point where that it's okay having all that money and having the career and all those things, but ultimately we need to feel needed by you. Now, if you're doing all those things for yourself, I guarantee you those types of women are not really going to allow a man to be a man with her in that relationship. And that's one of the key areas, how to get into our heart, allowing us to be the man around you. And it's okay, a woman's got, earning a lot of the money and she's doing all that, and we're happy that she's achieved that. But it doesn't do anything for us, because we're looking long term, where we want to be able to have a conversation with you. We may want to be emotional with you. We want to be able to connect with you. We want to be able to build a focus and a family or whatever with you. And if that's her sole focus on just the money aspect, then sometimes it can be very off-putting for some men, especially if she's earning more money than him as well.
Exactly. And you actually touched on something that I have to highlight because I've heard this from not only men across the board, but are you familiar with Dr. Ian Smith? He wrote the book on the truth about men here in the US.
I think so. Yeah, it rings a bell actually. Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote, so he actually spoke at one of my events, and one of the key things, and the reason why I asked him to speak at my event is because I saw him on an interview on one of the news stations here, and one of the things that he said that I was like, oh my God, I have to interview this guy, is he said that men want to feel needed and women want to feel wanted. And if you remember that, that's a key thing that will help you in relationships. And you touched upon that because you just said men want to feel needed. And I want women to really get this point across because I hear all the time from successful career women is that, oh, I make a living, I make plenty of money, I can do it, I can do this, and I don't need a man. And men hate that because then they're like, okay, you don't need a man, guess that you're sending that out to the universe. So he's not gonna, what is he around for?
That's right. It's exactly what role can I play in this relationship to feel like a man? We like to protect women. We like to provide for you. That's how it's always been. And if we meet women, no matter how attractive she looks or how much money she's got in the bank, if we feel that we can't contribute towards that relationship and her life and feel that we can add value to her life like that, we're lost. That's why some women meet men and they go out on dates a few months and he doesn't call her again. It's one of the reasons.
Right. So I want to ask you a question about this because usually what comes with this a successful career woman is that she's a strong, independent woman. So my question to you as a man, because my audience loves to hear the male point of view, is are men intimidated by strong, independent women?
That question gets asked a lot, and what I tend to find is the women that say that this is a myth that's been made up by women. Men don't say this. This is a myth that's been made up by women, and it's usually the women that are dating and attracting the men that are lower than them in that level. So what then happens then is these types of women that say this, they have a string of men that they've dated that were intimidated by them. So therefore, that's their belief system because they can't measure it up against anything else. But I guarantee you, if those women started to date men that were on their level or higher, they wouldn't be complaining about that whatsoever. But with my experiences, when I ask these women, when women say to me, oh, I can't meet a man that's on my level, I'm too independent and I can't attract the right men and they're not on my level, what then happens is I ask them, well, what did he do? Can you define that? Well, I was more intelligent than him. I was earning more money than him. I was more independent than him. So why, if you met him in the beginning and you knew he was like that, why did you continue that relationship with him? Why didn't you find a man that was on your level?
And you bring up a great point, is when you start to realize things aren't right, it's time to move on because you're wasting time dating the wrong man. The last question I want to ask you, because you touched upon it lightly, was about a man making less money than a woman, right? If she's a successful career woman and she's making, really good money, and London's just like New York, where, women can make really good money. So what if she's making so much money that it really is impossible for a guy to make more money than her and he earns less? Should a woman stop looking? Because I hear all the time women want to date a man that makes more than her. Should she stop looking for a man that makes more than her? Or, what should she do?
The number one question she needs to ask herself is why is she in that relationship? What is she looking for in a relationship? And what's most important to her in that relationship? Why does she want a relationship? Now, if her main focus is that she wants to ultimately get married and settle down and have a family, then what the man is earning should be irrelevant, if that's what her focus is. And the reason why I say that, I asked a woman this question at one of my seminars once, and she says to me, oh, well, I want a man that's earning more money than me. And I said, why is that so important to you? Because I'm always asking coaching questions. And she said, because all the men I've dated prior to me I was doubling what they were earning. So she's chosen the wrong men that weren't earning as much as her, and now she's now made that the forefront of her choosing strategy. But what ultimately I said to her, but what is your ultimate goal? And she says to have a family and settle down. So it wasn't about the money. So take the money out of the equation. If you was earning double what your man is earning, and you've got your home, your husband at home, and you've got your family and your children, would it matter? And she said no. She had to admit it was no, because her main focus was to get married and settle down, and it wasn't the money. And remember, that man that you date today could actually be the man that could treble what you're earning in 2 or 3 years' time. You just never know. And what I tend to find is with a lot of women, they want everything now. They want everything in a box as it is now. And as we know, life doesn't work out like that. The man that you meet today could be the man that you're dreaming about in 3 years' time.
Well, and that's a really great point, is you have to look at a man's potential, not only what he is right now.
That's right.
So these have been some great points. So Des, please tell our audience how they can find you.
They can find me at www.icanfindyouTheRightMan.com. That's the name of my up-and-coming book that's coming out next year in June in the UK, and also should be coming over to the US as well. You can find me on Facebook. Just search my name, Des O'Connor, DESOCONNOR. Great.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us on the Single and Stiletto Show. If you like our show, it's available both in video format and podcast format. If you would like to view the videos, you can go to singleandstilettos.com. And if you would like to get the podcast, you can download it from iTunes.
And if you would like to get our free ebook on the 3 secrets guaranteed to attract any man based on scientific research, click here on the video, or you can go to singleandstilettos.com.